Okay, so let's talk about putting ourselves in a position that's only going to bring us down. I see this a lot with friends and family, those that are personal in my life, that they'll come to me and they'll ask me my opinion or my advice or just want to rant about a certain situation going on in their life. And usually it's something that they put themselves directly into, knowing full well that before they went into it, that they were going to have these feelings. Yet they continue to do it. It's a cycle, and we all do it. We've all done it. I've done it. You've done it. We've all done it. We've put ourselves in situations, whether with family or friends, where we know it's just going to be the same old, and nothing positive is going to come out of the experience. And the reason why we continue to do so is because of the guilt that we are fearful that we're going to feel if we don't go to that event or go to their calling. So let me give you an example. I have a good friend, and his wife was, unfortunately, when she was a child, she was molested by somebody in her family. And he was telling me the other day about how they had to go to a family event. Now, the person that did that to her is actually, he's older now and he lives in a nursing home, so he's not at that house. But when they go to that house, everybody in her family kind of plays it off like it never happened. And so that's going to obviously give her emotional tension right there. And I asked him, I said, do you guys go there a lot? He said, well, the holidays and all that. And I said, is it the same thing every time? Like, every time you leave, is she depressed? Is she sad? Is she emotional? And he said, yeah. And I said, well, then stop going. And by that, what I mean is, if you're going to do something to feel good and have positive vibrations, like, going to a Christmas dinner or Thanksgiving or something like that, which we all know it may start off as a great time, but we all know it usually ends up with crazy Uncle Bill or something. But what I said was, if you know this is happening, you shouldn't go. And he said, well, she feels guilty because she wants the kids to see their grandmother and all that. I understand all that. But at the same time, grandma could come see the kids. She shouldn't have to go through that. And grandma is aware of the situation and aware how it depresses her. So if her own mother is not willing to accept how much it upsets her, but instead uses a guilt trip to her for every time they don't come over, then that's bad. And when you are under no obligation whatsoever to put yourself through that, you don't owe anybody anything. You don't. It's as simple as that. When somebody says, oh, well, I need you to come over here and, celebrate this holiday with me, but you know that it's going to bring up past emotional trauma or stress, or even if it's nothing in the past, it's just going to lead to people getting arguments, and in my family, everybody gets drunk and yells at each other, and I just don't do that anymore. And maybe I'm labeled an outcast in my family now, but that doesn't bother me. It bothered me at first. I felt guilty. I said, well, I should really go because, I owe that to them. I don't owe that to them. Yes, they're my family. Yes, I love them. But if all I'm going to do is keep going there and keep being put through either the negativity that surrounds me by their, oh, well, I'm broke, or, oh, I hate this, or I hate that, or if it's going to bring up past emotional trauma, or if it's going to bring up something that's basically useless and just causes confrontation, why do I put myself in that situation? Why should she feel like she has to put herself in that situation? I can tell you the answer. The answer is guilt. The only reason that any of you continue to do these things that you can't stand doing is because you're afraid that if you stop doing them, somebody's going to like you less. That's it. It's guilt. You think, oh, well, if I don't go, I'm going to feel guilty because, I didn't go to my mother's thing and blah, blah. Listen, if your mother has no respect for your well-being and is only concerned with you making an appearance for her well-being, that is not a loving relationship, okay? That is a one-sided relationship. I'm being very blunt. I'm not telling you to, not ever see your mothers or fathers again. But if you're going through a situation like that and you're feeling guilty, Understand that guilt is your higher self telling you, hey, we don't have to do this. Well, no, I have to. It's my family. No, we don't have to do this. You don't have to put yourself through this so that you go there on Sunday and it takes a full week before you get out of that mood, if you get out of it. That's not fair. It's not fair to yourself. And that may sound selfish, but it's not selfish, folks. It's reality. It's your own inner reality. You're not here to make other people feel good. It is definitely a bonus that you are given that gift to help others feel good, and you should definitely try to do that. But you are not here to only make others feel good so that you feel lonesome, depressed, sad, suicidal, mad at the world, angry, negativity. You're not here for that. You're only here to do your best. And that's it. And so your best would be to put up with a situation that you're willing to put up with for as long as you can, and then deciding that it's no longer part of you. You are not here to make others happy. You are here to first make yourself happy, and then understand how, through bettering yourself, you can make others happy, and maybe share some wisdom along the way. But don't continue to put yourself in situations where you believe that you are helping somehow, but you know deep down you are not helping. You know that deep down you are helping them because they are using you as a punching bag. And that's all it is. Now, my friend, in this situation is more than anything I can imagine personally, and I don't want to get into too many of those details, but for what that girl has already gone through in the past, and now as a mother to think about it going over there with her children, I can only imagine. She does not need to put herself in that situation. The only people that are forcing her into that situation is her family through the use of guilt and fear. Because I was told that, oh, well, if you don't come to this, we won't come to one of the other kids' birthday parties. What kind of family is that? That's blackmail. I mean, that's all that is. I mean, they're literally using blackmail techniques to get you to come to a birthday party where you know that, yes, your daughter will probably have a great time at that party, but you will not. And you think, well, I'm doing it for my daughter. She's going to the party. She's going to have a great time. I'll just put up with it. Yes, but the problem is once you leave there and you're in an angry mood or you're in an upset mood or a depressed mood and you're feeling dislocated from your own family, you're going to bring that stress back home with you, and that's not fair to them. I'm not saying it's directly your fault, but what I'm saying is you're looking at the aspect of, well, I want to make my daughter happy, so we're going to go to this place that makes me miserable and everything will be fine. No, it won't, because that will play out all during the week, if not longer, and your daughter will notice as well. I hope folks get what I'm saying here. I'm sorry I'm being a little forceful on it, but I see it a lot. I see a lot of people like myself. I've gone through it. I have now, I don't want to say rid myself, but I do not go to family functions where I know there will be drama, which is basically every family function in my family, at least. In Boston, we have some pretty crazy holidays. What I have done is I have said, hey, I'll come over, like I will individualize the people that will be at the party and be like, hey, well, I'll stop by your house next week. Oh, why don't you come to the party? No, I'm not gonna be able to make that, but I'll come by and see you. So if you do feel that not the guilt, but that need that you want to see certain people, then go do that. Now that could also cause problems because I've done that. I'll go to a cousin's house after an event that I didn't go to. And then one of my other cousins will say, oh, well, you went and saw him. You didn't come see me. No, I didn't come see you, man, because you are Mr. Negativity and I don't want to live with that. And I know it sounds bad to have to tell your friends and family these things, but you have to. And they're going to close you off. They're going to shut you off. They're not going to call you no more, nothing. But you've got to be honest with them. You've got to say, I love you, but this isn't working for me anymore. And I'll be there. I'm only a phone call away for you. But please don't call me if it's just going to be negativity and woe is me and my life stinks. And because I've already offered you all the advice and opinions that I can, and you don't listen and you bring me down. I know this sounds selfish, folks, but if you look deep down in your heart, you know that I'm telling you the truth. Somebody told me this truth, and that's why I'm now giving it to you. I love my family. I love the people in my life, even the ones that drive me nuts. Call it conditional love, whatever you want. I do love them, but at the same time, I will no longer do things out of guilt, because guilt and fear and all that, that's not supposed to be here. That's man-made. If you don't think that that's man-made, if you don't think that the guilt isn't man-made, think of it this way. When a bird grows up, it learns how to eat, it learns how to fly, and mother and father teaches it everything. When that bird leaves the nest, it doesn't come back and check mom and dad out. He doesn't fly around feeling guilty like, oh man, I haven't gone to see my mother at her nest for a while. He doesn't do that. Neither do dogs, neither do most animals. Now, I'm not saying that we shouldn't go back and see family, but what I'm saying is we shouldn't feel guilt. I've said it in other videos. Live like the dog. The dog does not remember what it did yesterday. It moves on. He did something bad yesterday. You smacked him on the nose. He said, oh, I'm sorry. And the next day, he doesn't even think anything of it. Live like that. Because you can't go back. If you can go back and say you're sorry, go back and say you're sorry. If you can go back and offer forgiveness, go back and offer forgiveness. But if you can't do any of that, don't continue putting yourself through the guilt of that situation. You will never find happiness. You will never find awakening. You will never find enlightenment. Because all you're doing is lying to yourself. We have to stop putting ourselves in situations that we know will cause us drama inside our inner work. And until you understand this, and until you apply this, it's not going, anything that you do outside of you is not going to work. It just won't. You will continue down the same path you have been continuing down for 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years. Again, I am not saying disown your family. I am saying put down, set limitations for yourself to understand what you're willing to do and what you're willing to put up with. At the end of the day, all you can do for anybody else external from you is your best. And that's it. Your best means whatever you're capable of doing in your means. Doing anything more than that is beyond your means, and believe it or not, it's only going to hurt you in the long run. Don't put yourself in situations where there is no love. Look for love and put yourself there. Speaking of love, I love all of you. Walk in light.
Until next time, my friends, I ask all people everywhere to plant seeds of love, peace, joy, and oneness. Please be sure to like, subscribe, and comment.